Hey, I'm Jordan. Welcome back to another video where I help people get in touch with themselves, expand their minds, and make spirituality and mind, body, soul health a little bit more practical and relatable. And welcome back to another video about chakras and making chakras make a little bit more sense and making them understandable. This video is going to be about the heart chakra, our love center. This is where we feel our love for ourselves and the universe. It's about love in all forms, love of self and others. And the Greeks had 7 different words for love. And I think it's important to be mindful of each of those and how it's possible to work freely with that, with everyone. Whether they're your partner, family, friend, or whether you're just giving love openly to strangers. Because if you can hate without knowing anyone, then you can love without knowing somebody. Love is essential for processing experiences. It's the essential element in every relationship with others and oneself. And so I'm just going to jump into the different Greek words a little bit, because I really feel that with understanding those, we can understand the different types of love that's possible to feel and put out. So first there's eros, which is literally named after the Greek god of love, Eros, who was the son of Aphrodite, and he was the one that went and shot everybody with his arrows, like Cupid to Roman mythology, obviously with Greek. He, that's that feeling of love, like feeling like you just got struck by the arrow, bang, and oh my gosh, I'm so in love, and it's so passionate and romantic, and you're in love, and you're in it with this person, and you feel that sense of you just want to spend the rest of your life with them because it's so raw and intense. Now beyond that, there's 6 other levels. There's philia, which is intimate, authentic friendship. This is the kind of love that is totally okay and allowed and accepted to tell your friends that you love them, and it's not weird. It's like when we say normalize telling your friends you love them. That's philia. That's telling your friends that you love them because you just got off the phone with them and you want them to know how you feel about them before, what if that was the last time that you ever talked to them again and something happened to them and you wanted them to know that you love them, and it's okay to tell that to your friends. Beyond that, there's ludos, playful, flirtatious love. I look at this like that's the feeling that you have with someone that's very fun and playful, but you're not really deeply, erosly in love with them, possibly yet, or that's just not really the love that you feel for them. But it is okay to have a very playful, flirtatious love for someone, and to just recognize that that's the type of love that it is, and to say to yourself or to say to them, I love you, and that's okay, because it's very playful and it's fun and joyous, and you're very fun and carefree with each other, and you love being around them. You absolutely love their company. You have fun with each other. Maybe you tickle each other. Maybe you're flirty and very laissez-faire with each other, without it being too deep or committed or anything like that. Then you have a little bit more practical. The next word is storge, but I think with a Greek accent it's a little bit more like a storge. And if you think of that like compartmentalizing love, that's the unconditional stored love that you have for specific people that, like, I don't want to say that you have to love, but this is like unconditional family love. Love that just exists because it just does. And it's like those people, like your mom, your dad, siblings, brothers, sisters, maybe that aunt or uncle that you don't know very well, but you love them because they're your family. And it's that simple. Philatia, self-love. One of the most important kinds of love there is this feeling of just absolutely irrequievocally loving oneself. And that is so pure. When you work with your heart chakra, that is unlimited and unbounding. Next, pragma. This is very committed, compassionate love, but it's very pragmatic and systematic, and somewhat like storge, like familial love that exists just because it does. I also look at pragma like betrothal marriages where they were agreed to be married and they didn't necessarily love each other right away, but they grew to love each other over time because that was just the life that they had. And it rings a bell, that saying that like parents used to tell their children in olden days in England or whichever cultures where they did have a lot of betrothals like that, and they would say to their child, "Oh, but sweetie, you'll learn to love him in time," because it's just that type of situation that you're being put in, and it's just very committed, companionate love. Pragma is like, if you look at the paradigm or the triangle of love that exists in theories of psychology, where you have commitment, passion, and compassion. You could have no passion and not much compassion, but if you have commitment, that could even look like you're a couple that's not very, very passionate. Maybe you don't have a very great sex life, but you are just very, very committed to each other. You're very, very, very irrevocably committed to each other, and some couples don't have the same sex life as others. That's all very subjective and includes perspective. I'm not going to say that a healthy marriage or a healthy love life is associated with having sex 5 times a week, because that's just unrealistic. So sometimes And sometimes relationships, like real relationships, can go through phases where they shift in and out of eros and ludus and pragma, and you have roller coaster feelings, like they're shifting, and that just changes over time as a long committed relationship ebbs and flows and comes in and out of seasons where maybe you're not as passionate with each other, but the commitment is still there. And the last one that I think is so important, the Greeks got bang on, is agape. And that is a universal love for all things, all beings, empathetic, universal love. And that is the love that I think compares so well to the phrase that if we can hate without knowing anybody at all, like with racism and sexism, so to speak, then you can love without knowing anybody. You can just say, hi, it's nice to meet you, I love you, because you are a wonderful being and you seem like you're an absolute ray of sunshine on this earth, and I just love that about you already. That's agape. That is agape. Now, at its core, beyond understanding the different types of love that are out there, that are possible, the heart chakra is also associated with well, love for oneself and others, but also relationships and relating with others, empathy, compassion, feelings of feeling empathetic for others, but also the intuitive feeling of empathy comes from the heart center. Acceptance and forgiveness, accepting yourself for your own faults, forgiving others, these things all come from the heart center. Change and growth and transformation all stem from living from your heart center. The ability to grieve and be at peace, and also just this being your center of awareness. And really when I say that, it's like, you have your mind, and your root is your body, but your heart is like, it's so your living, breathing life force. It's like when you are living with your heart forwards, that is when you're truly living in your truest, best self, because you're really living and acting for the you that you love most. Now, if you're wondering what some signs could be of imbalances in this area or with this energy, if you're somebody who is very blocked in your heart center, or you just don't have a very strong heart chakra, that could look like being very closed in, living with a lot of jealousy, like you go from relationship to relationship, being a very jealous partner. Maybe you've got something that you're holding on to from the past that you haven't acknowledged, but either way, that's that character flaw of being a very jealous person is associated with being out of alignment with your heart energy, and as well as fear of intimacy or commitment, feeling like you don't want to jump into relationships because you have commitment issues, all those things that just really stop you from getting into new relationships, and being one of those people that just jumps around or jumps from relationship to relationship without really being able to get into a fully committed and deep loving relationship because you've got something stopping you, whatever that may be. It may take some self-reflection to really dig deep and find out what that is with yourself. Sometimes that takes sitting with yourself. Also, always being the role of the savior or the rescuer kind of turns into people pleasing too. The theme of always feeling like you have to help others, always feeling like you need to put others above yourself, or maybe the opposite, playing the victim and always reaching out for others in a codependency kind of way. Codependency is really imbalance with heart. But I want to kind of stick with the role of the savior for a second, because this theme is something that's come up quite a bit lately that I've thought about, and it's the idea of people pleasing and doing anything that will just appease others. And that looks like just sometimes being a freaking doormat to other people who obviously don't have your best interests at heart, and you're not a big priority to them. Maybe this could even look like people who have not just cancelled plans with you, but maybe they completely blew you off, ghosted you, and then you're sitting there sending them another message and giving them a benefit of the doubt, and then the next day you still continue to talk to them. This comes off as a form of people pleasing, because you're not doing what's best for yourself and just saying, look, this person wronged me. I'm not going to keep sticking my neck out for them, and I'm just going to do what's best for me. I'm going to do what's best for me, for myself, for my highest good. And sometimes that can even look like being the person that always helps your friends when they don't necessarily always do the same to help you, but you're the one that's always going out of your way to help every single one of your friends that needs something at all times, and you're never giving yourself any time for yourself. On the opposite side, imbalance with your heart can also look like being an excessive hermit and closing yourself off to the world, excessive isolation. So you're not people pleasing, you're kind of overindulging in yourself in a very, very overly introverted kind of way. Like introversion and extroversion are like two sides of ourselves, and if one is so much more expressed than the other, then I know we have people that are very extroverted and people that are very introverted, but at the core of that, somebody who is so introverted that they have no social life is still a little bit out of alignment with their heart, because I have a hard time even calling that self-love. If you are so introverted that you don't even have a social life, because to me that is still an imbalance, because even though you enjoy your own company, you don't have nourishing relationships that really fill you up. So that's unfortunate. And if you're a person who is experiencing a lot of over excessive hermiting, maybe you're even going through your really big spiritual awakening and you're kind of finding yourself in a hermit phase, and that can happen. I've done it before. I've gone through it myself, but it's important to recognize that and sometimes take a step back and just force yourself to make a phone call and get in touch with somebody that you really love and you enjoy their company and they enjoy yours. And even if it's nothing overly huge, go for brunch or just go for coffee. Go to a friend's house and just take in some love that you can receive from people that love you. And sometimes that is the best time to take it in. It was when you've gone through a little bit of an introversion phase. You've gone inside for a little while, you've hermited for a little bit, and then you call somebody and you realize, oh my gosh, I still have friends that love me and care about me and want to see the best for me. And that is just such a wonderful thing. But the last really big aspect of strong heart imbalance that I want to touch on before I get into physical signs or healing or anything like that is just the idea of holding grudges and not being able to forgive someone who's wronged you. Being like that person that just always holds on to the hate and the bitterness in their heart. Or maybe somebody has wronged you and you really hold on to phrases like oh, well, a leopard doesn't change their spots, or tigers don't change their stripes, and all of those things that, although they can be true, they're also, in a way, they're kind of blocking you from still building building potential relationships with somebody, because the fact is, we're always changing. Every 7 years, we're a different person than we were when we were 7 years ago. Quite literally, your cells on a molecular level, on a skin and cell level, your cells break down and rebuild completely every 7 years. So it's not just the emotional growth that you go through, but every 7 years you're literally a new person than you were 7 years ago. So the fact is, everybody has the potential to change. Everybody goes through their own growth. It's quite possible for addicts to go through recovery, for alcoholics to come out the other side, for people to go through drug rehab, for somebody to heal their inner child and their wounds and stop being such a negative person. So all of those things that and all of the change that you think is possible within yourself is also possible in someone else. So if someone used to be quite a negative person, or somebody that you just thought to be not a very great person, then if you're working on healing some of your own personal resentment in your heart, or you're trying to work with your heart chakra and connect to it and work on potentially some bitterness issues that you have, then maybe something that you could consider, especially if at this time you have somebody that comes back into your life that maybe wronged you in the past, and it's kind of the universe asking you, okay, are you going to be just as judgmental, or are you going to see this person in a new light and give them a whole new second chance and opportunity? Because life is full of second chances, and it would just be a shame to just cut somebody off and not give them that second chance, because what if they've grown altogether completely and they're just dying to show you how much they've grown, and they want to really rebuild and maybe mend fences or something, and you just come at them with this like, nope, I hate you and I still haven't forgiven you for that thing that you did 10 years ago, so screw you. And at the end of the day, that's just not conducive for growth, and you're not leading with a place of love, or you're not leading with an energy that says, I see the soul in you and he smiles back at me, and we're all just reflections of each other. And so if I'm unwilling to forgive you, then that's really an unwillingness to forgive something within myself. So we're all just each other, trying to walk each other home. Physical signs of imbalances, of course, if you've let those imbalances go on too long without noticing or connecting with them or being aware of them, can turn into respiratory ailments, lung infections, bronchitis, asthma, or of course even heart troubles, respiratory or circulatory and heart related issues, or cardio troubles too. So I mean, the heart chakra is, I'm not sure if I mentioned this in the beginning now, I can't remember, it's associated with the color green and pink, just like root. Heart is actually one of those chakras that has kind of a second subsidiary color. So pink works too, because if you think about like all of the heartsy, lovey things out there, pink is a very loving color. But in the chakra wheel, green is the color for the heart chakra, and you can work with that by getting into wearing green, or just working with green color therapy, meditating and imagining yourself bathed in green light. And I'll be doing a heart chakra meditation too, but even, clothing or nail polish, makeup, accessories, heck, decorating your house green, or having a lot of plant life. Plants are, even though they're earthy, they're not just a root thing. They're so connected to your heart because they're green, and we love when we have plants around. It makes us feel good, it makes us feel awesome, and like we have living, breathing things giving us air and oxygen in our homes. It's, again, great for the lungs. So that all goes hand in hand. Plants kind of segues into food. Eating green, like I've said before, there may or may not be a lot of like key science behind food helping your energy centers, but this is pure intuitiveness for me, and heck, why not? If you eat green vegetables, they're good for you, and it's an act of self-love to eat broccoli and celery and green vegetables that are great for your digestive system, and they make you feel good, and they're just good for you all around. What did we always hear when we were kids? Eat your green vegetables, because anything like those leafy green vegetables, or peas, carrots, broccoli, peas and carrots just go together, I guess. Carrots are orange. But any food and veggies that are good for you is self-love. That's the message that's the takeaway that I really, really want to just hammer home. Crystals, like I had said before, rose quartz rose quartz is kind of associated with the color pink, and so that's kind of where pink plays in, I think, too. Man, because rose quartz is very commonly known as the love stone. But you also have unakite and malachite, which are very, very powerful, raw, heart healing stones. They're not just so much about where rose quartz and rhodite are like, how do I put this? They're like the love stones. They bring love into your life. They help you love yourself. But unakite and malachite are powerful healing stones for healing your heart chakra. So the other two are very good at working with love and bringing it into your life, helping you love yourself. But unakite and malachite can really help you do the work. If you meditate with those stones or even just carry them with you, they will be powerful facilitators of change and growth and inner heart healing, as well as binaural beats or listening to your favorite music that you love, that makes you feel like you love in the moment, or even journaling about your emotions, traumas, people who you wanted to love you but let you down, people who abandoned you. These are love, trauma, shadow exercises. And working with affirmations, even saying to yourself, I'm loved, I love myself, I forgive myself and others, I'm open to receive and give love, I give love in all forms. Or, like I said, listening to your favorite music, or even watching your favorite movie, sitting down and just doing self-care practices that really make you feel that self-love can be really good at moving energies through the heart. And if you just really connect with these things and do these things, they can make all the difference in connecting to your own heart energy. And I think that's all that I had for that. I really hope that any of you watching got something out of that, that if anything came up that you really need to work on, heck, pause, rewind, watch it again, slow it down. If there was anything that really caught you and really jumped out at you, then, throw a like down there or subscribe if you haven't already. Leave a comment in the comment section if there was something that really just jumped out at you. But as always, peace, love, skål. Have a great Sunday and enjoy the rest of your day. Much love. Thanks.